I really skipped over. I didn't watch them. I personally watched this one young man's live. He's a trans male, and I watched his last night, and it was very interesting to watch and listen to the things that he had to say. I briefly listened to one of the young ladies that had been with Malik Yoba, and I briefly listened to Carmen Carrera, her live, and that's pretty much it, because things just really started to get out of hand. Hey everybody, things really started to get out of hand, and I put these little earrings on because I didn't have one in it. I've never worn them. They're so ugly to me, but I couldn't get on live without earrings. And I've been seeing so many different opinions and so many different outlooks just on everything. On the Malik Yoba situation, I've been seeing different opinions about the trans young children that were killed last weekend, and the trans march. And now I've been seeing so many gay men voicing their opinions on how they view trans. I'm going to music. I've been seeing so many gay men expressing how they truly feel, and honestly, it started last week. I actually screenshotted a few of the statuses, but I saw a young man post saying he actually lives here in Orlando, from what his Facebook said. I don't know him personally. And he said, at the end of the day, I don't care how many hormones you take, how many sex change you get, and this, that, and the other, you still a man. And that was coming from a gay male. And so once I read his status, I, of course, looked at the comments. And then I paid attention to the people that actually liked his comment. And it was gay men. Thank you. It was gay men liking what he said, and the things that they were saying, yeah, they still are men. And one was saying, oh, they need to be more feminine. And to me, it was the equivalent of white men or white women calling us niggers and baboons and monkeys. It felt just that abusive. You could feel the hatred through the post. And like I said, this wasn't coming from heterosexual people. This was coming from gay men, and I was floored. I honestly was floored, because I didn't think that it was quite like that. I know the different tactics and messy things that I've experienced in being in this community. And I want to explain this too. I've been around for, oh no, what, did I turn on music? No, I can't turn on music. No, stop. Hold on, I don't want to get kicked off. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Somebody say yes, I can hear you, so I can, because I did something in the car just then. Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Cool. So that's what sparked things for me. It was last week. Then yesterday I saw an individual that is trans attracted, which that's a term they use now, I guess. Well, this is someone that finds himself attracted to trans women. And he made a similar post saying that at the end of the day, we still man, and this and the other. And, we went, exchanged words and went back and forth. And I'm honestly floored. And then the whole Andre, and Andre Mizrahi and his post and everything. And Some people are trying to give him a pass and say, oh, we need to educate him. Well, this is my thing. A person that says that they have raised so many trans women should already be educated if they've raised so many trans women. Someone that is over 50 years old and has been in the lifestyle for years, how much more education do you need? So, and like I was saying in many posts that I've commented under, we live in a day and time where you have to be very mindful and very careful what you say and post on social media. You have to think about this stuff before you say it, because you can lose everything instantly. Like I said yesterday, I have saw politicians, I have saw celebrities lose everything instantly because of them saying the wrong thing, from them saying the N-word, for them using some type of racial slur, from them using blackface. They lost everything. Yeah, Paula Deen may still have money, but guess what? They snatched everything off the shelf. Everything that had anything to do with Paula Deen, it was snatched right from up under her because she said the wrong thing out of her mouth. And I feel like these same people should be held accountable just like that. If I don't know all of his accreditation and all of that in ballroom. I know that he's been in ballroom for a long time. I definitely know who he is. I've been around him several times, but that's when it's time for the ballroom community to stand up and say, no, we're not having this. No, we're not going to honor you as the icon and the legend in this. We're going to strip you of that, and you're not welcome here. You have to show people better than you can tell them. A lot of people been saying, well, we need to teach and we need to take this type of approach, and we don't live in that day and time where we got time to keep teaching people dying, people being killed. So we don't have time to keep trying to explain stuff. It's now we got to start making examples out of people. Rather it be silencing them, or rather you have to take the physical approach. And I'm not a person that's sitting here trying to encourage violence, but sometimes, it's getting to a point where it's either you or them. That's where it's getting at. And so when straight people see that, oh, gay men look at y'all like this, they're really gonna lose respect for us. If they see gay men don't even respect us and respect our transition, what in the hell make you think that a straight man go even consider or even open their ears or mind to learn about a trans woman? Because look what the stuff they see y'all saying. So they're not gonna respect us. So if y'all not gonna respect us, then we're gonna lose respect for y'all, and then everything gonna be haywire. See, I look at things. I look at things a little different. I wasn't raised with no silver spoon in my mouth at all, and I've had to learn how to take different approaches. At growing older and becoming an adult, I've had to learn to take different approaches and not be so hot-headed. But sometimes it's just like you have to take a different approach for people to understand you and to feel you. And like I said, when you're attacking somebody's womanhood, manhood, whatever the case may be, like I said before, and I said earlier, I said yesterday. They talk about a woman bleed, she have a cycle, she have this. I said this yesterday. We have women that aren't born with uteruses. We have women that aren't born with ovaries. We have women that don't get cycles. We have women that grow facial hair. We have women that don't have hips. We have women that have box hairlines. We have women that have different type of masculine traits, or they have things going on with that a typical woman goes through, and they may not go through, but does that not make them a woman? So they say, oh, well, y'all can't bear children. That's a lie. If I can't bear children, you don't know my life. You don't know what I like sexually. You don't know what I'm capable of doing sexually. No, I cannot lay down and bear a child, but I'm capable of having my own biological child. So I think I'm reading. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think about all that kind of stuff. Like there's some men out there, just like I said, men are men. You have some men out there that can't. They're not fertile. They can't have children. They may be the machoest, buffed man in the world, but they're not fertile. Does that not make that person a man? Or you have some men that have to have orchiectomies for whatever reason. They have to, and if you don't know what an orchiectomy is when they have to have their testicles removed. Some men have to have that done. Does that means they can't have children? Does that not make them a man? So I just, it's like, this is what y'all got to realize too. As a trans person, do you think that I'm going to forget my past? Do you think I'm going to ever forget who I was when I was born? No. But I don't need y'all trying to remind me. I need you to respect me for what you see in front of you. I don't care what trans person is. I don't care how gender dysphoric you are. I don't care how much this and that in your head, or how much surgery you get, or whatever the case may be. I don't care if you live a stealth life, if you never come on the LGBT scene, if you never associate yourself with it, you will never forget about your transition. You will never forget who you are. So we don't need anybody. If I have every characteristic and every physical trait of a woman, that's what I am. Period. I don't need you to remind me of what my past was. Just like some of y'all got records and y'all don't want to be reminded of y'all records. But every time you go apply for a job, you're reminded of it. You have to understand, there's so many girls that are going live because we have been your sisters and your gay mothers and your the people that you confide in. We've been your doctors. We've been your meal providers. We've nursed y'all back to health. We've kept you safe. We kept a roof over your head. We've protected you. We've been so informed you. Kept you out of harm's way. Like, been there when your family wasn't there, helped you get through school. So many different things that we played that role, and to see so many of y'all slap us in the face and just discredit our whole existence. It hurts. It hurts. It's not to say that our existence and who we are is based upon what y'all think. It's not that. It's the fact that we involve ourselves with y'all. That's the whole point. See, a lot of times we don't really care what straight people say because we always have the love in our own community, and most times, we're so caught up in our own LGBTQIA+ community that we don't really even too tough care what the heterosexuals have to say about us or what the opinions of us are. But when it's inside of your community, when it's coming from the inside of your circle, that's when it's a problem. It becomes a civil war at that point. And that's where we're at right now. We're at a civil war in our own community, and it doesn't feel good. It really doesn't feel good. Like I said, we played so many different roles for gay men, And some of them will stand up for us and respect us, but some of them won't. And I get it all the time. Even in the field that I work in, you can bend over backwards for people, and people will still give you their ass to kiss. Once they get what they need and get where they need to be at, it's like, oh, I don't have no more use for you no more. And that doesn't feel good. And I can speak coming from the health care industry, and I can speak from coming from the entertainment industry. Their lack of respect is just there, and especially with the newer generation that's coming out. See, they haven't excuse me. A lot of them, they came up at a different time where they're more accepted. They're more accepted by their families and stuff, so they don't have a need for a gay parent, or they don't know what it's like to have to sleep on somebody's floor because you don't have nowhere to go at, and things like that. They don't know what that feels like, so they don't have the same regard and the same respect. It's a lot of different things. Some gay men have controlled the way so many trans women have, so many ways that trans women think. Y'all sit and y'all make us think that we got to have hair down to our ass. We got to be shaped like a Coca-Cola bottle. We got to have porcelain skin. We got to have on the highest heel. Y'all, this is what y'all plant in our heads. But that has to stop. There are all type of women out there, and that's another thing that I want to touch on when it comes to our people as a whole. Y'all make us feel like because we're trans, we have to act a certain way. Oh, you're a girl, so you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. You got girls that are tomboys. You got studs. You got girls that wear tennis shoes. You got girls that wear short cuts. You got girls that wear long hair. You got ratchet girls. You got classy girls. You got classy ghetto girls. You have all different type of girls. Girls that wear low cuts. Girls that wear long hair. Girls that wear their real hair. Girls that wear tracks. Girls vary. But yet y'all make us feel like we gotta be this certain image of a woman to get this acceptance from y'all, or we sickening. And then the funny thing about it is, when we accomplish this outer persona that y'all see for us, and the sad part about it, after we done laid on the table and got pumped, we done went and got facial feminizations, we done went and got nose jobs and laser and this and that, all the things that y'all tell us that we supposed to get, and this, that, and other, to be sickening, but we do all that for y'all to still look at us as men. All that taking y'all up, and yes ma'am, she's sickening, it's my daughter, and da 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 da. But then in the back of y'all head, she's still a man. That's sad. I see that in pageantry. I see that in ballroom. I see that in regular life. Y'all have, and the time is out for that. Time is out. I will not walk around conforming to what somebody else feel is feminine or girly, or because I'm trans, I'm supposed to walk this way, or act this way, or talk this way, or I'm only supposed to date this kind of person, or like this kind of person. This person, only person kind of like. It has to all stop. And I've been saying for the longest, the cisgender women and their families don't even live up to the expectations that they have. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the absolute truth. The expectation that they have for us, they own cisgender family members don't even live up to that. You got girls that laid on tables and died. You got girls risking their freedoms to get that next date so they can get their next bundle of hair. To go to the next event. All that to reach the expectation of man. And that has to come to a stop. And nobody's gonna make me think that, oh, this person just wasn't educated, we got to educate this person. That is BS. That goes for everybody. And this post is, and let me say this post is not a live video directly targeted or at Andre at all. I saw posts before he even said anything. I'm using him as an example because of his platform and it reaching so many people. Of course, I was going to reference him first, but I saw several other young men that had those things to say, and it's just, to me, it's a new day. It's a new day, and it's a wake up call for us as girls. I've had my wake up call. I've had my wake up call years ago, just from being a trans woman that dates within my community. I have experienced so much discrimination, hatred, messiness. I have received so much of that in my years of dating in my community. I don't feel like there are times when my community feels like I shouldn't be dating. It's like sometimes you feel like, well, who should I date? Where do I fit in? The straight men, they want to have sex with you. They don't want to go out with you nowhere, do nothing with you. They just want to come over and chill, and then you get into your own community. And when I say in my own community, that's all across the board. That's all across the board. I've experienced so much, and I don't like that. And that's why I feel like we got to start having outlets where we can have a gay trans alliance. And I've been talking about this for over a year now. And now that this has happened, I really feel bad that I personally haven't made that happen in my own city, because I see a lot, and I see that there is truly a need for a gay trans alliance, because I feel like trans individuals don't fully understand gay men. However, there are some exceptions. You do have some individuals that transition later in their lives, and so they got to live as a male image longer than others. I never got to live as an adult male, so I don't know what it's like to be an adult male. I know what it's like to date a gay man, but I know what it's like to be a gay teenager. So that's why the gay trans alliance is needed, because I need to hear from them to good and bad. I don't want to hear just good. I don't want to hear, oh, you sick now. I don't want to hear I live for you. I don't want to hear I live for your shows. I don't want to hear I watch you on YouTube all day. No, I want to know what you think of us. And why do you think that of us? Have you had a bad experience? What is it that makes you think these things of us? And I want to give them our outlook on them, and not just my outlook. There are trans women fit under all different categories. All trans women aren't showgirls. All trans women don't go out to gay clubs. All women don't date gay men. Some trans women don't even date men at all. So we need different trans women to be on the panel. We need different gay men to be on the panel. Masculine, feminine, however they may dress, identify, or carry themselves. We need them all across the board to sit and talk, so we can get an understanding of why they think this of us, and maybe we can educate them and give them some information and give them something to think about. Besides them thinking that, oh, at the end of the day they just men. That's some heterosexual BS. That's just like all straight people think we gonna die AIDS. It's the same ignorance. It's the same ignorance. I would, if I didn't have my work shirt on, I would be cursing really bad right now. You're right. If we don't support each other, how do we expect anyone on the outside to support us? And that's so true. And then touching on the Malik Yoba situation, I see some people saying, "Oh, we don't want to hear from him," or da 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 da. And let me tell you something. I may not know all the logistics or whatever that was going on or whatever this, that, the other, but I watched the Breakfast Club. And I don't understand why people are bashing him for anything he said on the Breakfast Club. Like, I think he took the right approach by having us represented. And he had us represented across the board pretty much. He had a black and a brown trans woman, and he had a gay man, and he's a man that is attracted to trans women. So it was kind of like it was representation of all of us, and everybody was able to give their own narratives. And I don't think he made a mockery out of himself or anything like that. So I don't understand why the girls, I understand he was a date, or he's a date, and he done paid some of the girls, and he done had dealings with some of the girls, whatever, from what I've been told. But why we beating up on somebody that's at least using their platform to say, yes, I like trans women? Why we beating? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with him coming out and saying that? Why does he not have a place in what we got going on? For it is the LGBTQIA plus. So guess what? He's a part of the plus. I'm not saying that he might have said everything right, but he was at least trying. He didn't have to go public and say. He could have denied it, just like the rest of these celebrities that walk around here still denying that they deal with trans women. He could have denied it, but he didn't. So I'm just saying, like, we need people. We need more men that are brave enough to come forward and say, I like trans women. But guess what? If this is going to be the way, if this is the way that we're going to react and treat them when they do come out, then we can just cancel it. We can just cancel anybody else coming out because y'all dogging them out. Somebody say, "Oh, well, he don't like black girls." That is y'all talk about being cisgender. That is some cisgender BS if I ain't never heard it. So what, he ain't a man because he don't like black girls? He said he like trans women. He ain't say what race he like. And then you trust him want to say something because he ain't talking to a black girl? Now you racist. It's so many issues that have to be unpacked, and I don't feel like I have the answers to them. I'm only one person just voicing what I've been seeing. I know y'all see me post little statuses and stuff like that. Sometimes I just don't even I just post little stuff. But I don't like writing long paragraphs and text because I don't like using quotation marks. And not quotation marks, but I don't like using periods and commas and quotation marks and parentheses and I don't like using all that. I usually write in text form. I'm used to the texting and stuff, and I just don't do it. That's just me being lazy. But I get aggravated. I'd rather just voice my opinion, and sometimes it gets too complicated having to reply to everybody that's trying to reply to you. And I just say, oh, no. I do run-on sentences and all of that stuff, and I don't always like to do that on social media. He's the CJ for men who are trans attracted. I know Facts had black girls, but not going to spill it because I don't care to get into his life like that. No, we don't need to spill anybody's business. You know, we don't need to spill anybody's business as to who he's been with. But it's just like I just couldn't believe that so many people were against, and some people were saying, okay, well, he should come to the trans march, but he shouldn't be facilitating a workshop. Why not? Why not? Maybe this man can reach other men that may be wanting to let the world know that they are attracted to trans individuals, or or not even the world, or just let their families know, hey, this is my girlfriend, and yes, she is trans or whatever, and you know, I love her. You know, why can't he facilitate a workshop that talks about that? Or, you know, we always want to holler about the LGBTQIA plus. Let him be a part of the plus. I don't see anything wrong with him doing a workshop. I personally, I listen to his story now, and let me say this too. Listening to the things that he had to say, because he said that he is a heterosexual man that likes women, I will not rebuttal that. But the one thing I will say, watching that interview, I do feel like he's way more educated and way more experienced than he was trying to come off. He said himself that he's been on the scene since he was 16 years old. So you have to listen to the nuances. See, so when people talking, sometimes they don't even realize they're giving away different little nuances that you can connect the dots. If you've been on the scenes, you met your first trans woman when you were 16 years old. You started going to balls when you were 19 years old. You're 51 years old? Baby, you've been on the scene for over 30 years. You know the ins and outs better than I do. You see, y'all don't pay attention to all of that. So when he was trying to seem as if, you know, they were educating him, the girls were educating him, I was looking like, baby, he know everything already. But because he's having to keep this persona of like, this is a revelation and I'm just coming to terms with this, or letting the world know about this, I gotta seem like I don't know all of the terminology and everything. No, baby, you've been on the scene 30 years. 30 plus years. Going to balls. You said it. He said it. You had your first trans experience at 16, and then you start going to balls at 19. But you can still, but guess what? There's nothing wrong with him still identifying as heterosexual. It does, just because he's trans attracted. I think the interview was powerful, and it should have given people more courage to own their truth. I have the problem with adding letters and trying to put a person in a place in a community that is far from a community. That came from Naisha Dupree, you all. And it's understandable. You know, like I said this one time when I was hosting an event. And I said, you know what, we always say the LGBTQI plus. I said, but really it's just us. It's just the world. Because if you think about it, everybody you know at some kind of way fits in that LGBTQIA plus spectrum. That saved grandma that loved you anyway, guess what? That means she's an ally. So that means she's in that too. So everybody on this earth in some kind of way fits in that under that umbrella. So like as far as him, like I said, I appreciated the interview. You know, I do. I appreciated the interview. I regardless of whatever his intention is, he is doing something that many celebrities wouldn't dare. And he gave the examples of some of them, like Eddie Murphy. You know, we know I grew up knowing about I forgot what his name is. He passed away, but he got into the car accident with the trans woman, and I remember growing up and being told about that. Oh gosh, I can't think his name. Oh, he sang a song with Stephanie Mills, but he was with the trans woman, and they got into a Teddy Pendergrass. Yes, he was in the car with the trans woman, and they got into a really bad car accident, and that's how he became paralyzed. You know, and that's how it came out. That's how it came out that he liked trans women. You know, Eddie Murphy was caught, you know, with a trans woman. You know, it's different celebrities that's been with trans women. I know some girls, I know some bad trans women that don't even be bothered with the scene at all, that date celebrities. And if you looked at them and you saw them, you'll say, yeah, I absolutely see why celebrities would deal with this person. So this is stuff that's been going on. I met a lady a year and something ago when I was in California. I was at a conference in Oakland, California, and this lady had her whole surgery paid for by Red Fox. I'm sorry, not Red Fox, Richard Pryor. I'm sorry. He paid for her whole gender reassignment. Lovely lady. So this type of stuff been going on, but now you got people that's actually, you know, willing to just speak up and speak on it. And we had a nerve that want to bash them and say, oh, we don't want to hear from him. We don't this and da. Child, regardless if he was a date or whatever, at least he's still coming forward and just and admitting it. And when we have people that don't want to admit it, I know so many guys that will come and lay up with me, but they won't even go out to lunch with me. And I'm passable, I think. You know. And then, so we trying to get some. We're not gonna get nowhere with all that backlash and all of that. Like I said, if we was gonna give anybody some backlash and silence anybody, it should be Andre, and that's real talk. I never knew the trans woman that got in the wreck with Teddy was on Oprah. Where are they now? Yes, that's the same lady. That lady that was So it was two that were really popular. I met one, and then it's the one that was with Teddy Pendergrass. The other one, she was with Richard Pryor, allegedly. Oh, thank you, Savannah. It's Black Society who can't let them. I'm very glad he did the interview. I'm glad he did the interview too. You know, and we know that the Breakfast Club, you know, we know they only do stuff for ratings. They don't really care. Honest to God. Charlemagne, whatever the other guy name is, the Spanish guy, the girl, they could care less. They do things for rating. They bring people on for hot topics. And that's why they brought him on. They didn't bring him on because they wanted to be educated. That one guy that said, oh, I can take this information back and I can take this to my kids and educate my kids. I guarantee you, he ain't went back home and told his kids nothing. Because the same heterosexual stuff that's in his head and the same generational stuff that he was taught, he gonna teach it to his kids. So at no point did I feel like they were being educated. At no point did I feel like they were being educated. They were just doing this for ratings. They were doing it because it was a hot topic. But guess what? Thank God we had somebody like Nala and that young man that were able to, speak knowledge and be able to do it in such an intelligent way. It felt so good to be able to hear them speak. Now, I do tell you this. Now, one thing from my observation, I do feel like sometimes when we do get on those certain platforms, I do feel like sometimes we need to do trans talk for dummies, or like I sometimes like to call it backyard barbecue talk, because one thing I've learned is you can be very educated, you can know every word in the dictionary, and you can get up and use you can get up in front of a whole crowd of people and use all those big words, and all those words will go right over people's head, and your message won't get across because those people may not be on the same educational level as you. So I feel like when we have, I love to hear people like Janet Mock speak. I love to hear them speak. But when you are, I feel like on the Breakfast Club, I feel like some things needed to be broke down backyard barbecue style. And yes, Nala and David, it needs to be broken down to where people can it can really hit home, or to where they can really relate to it. Because if you try to be too I don't want to say educated, because there's no such thing as being too educated, but when you don't break things down in a way that people can understand them, it sounds good. It sounds good to and it definitely sounds good to people that can understand it and comprehend it, but it goes over the other people's head. Most of the people that probably watch the Breakfast Club probably live in the hood somewhere, or probably ain't got nothing going for themselves, probably ain't graduated, probably don't even know how to count too good, read or write. But they know how to listen to all this foolishness. So you got to break things down for them to where they can understand it. That would be my only critique. And I'm not saying dumb yourself down, but just find a way to get your point across where it will hit everybody. Wow, I love my sister London. She needed to break it down all the way down for Andre last night. See, I love listening to London. I watch a lot of London's lives. I like listening to her too. And she is another one that is very educated, very well spoken. But if you don't break things down for dummies, sometimes your message is not going to get across. You're going to sound good, but your message not going to come across. And so we got to keep that into consideration. Like I could use all of these big words and just that other, but I know that does not reach people. That don't reach people. I could go to people and say, "Oh my gosh, you need to get on pre-exposure prophylaxis." Well, what the hell is that? When I could just say PrEP. You don't have to just don't go in people's head. Reach the masses. Not just a quarter of the crowd. Try to reach the entire crowd. Try to connect with the entire crowd to get your message across to everybody, and still sound intelligent, and still be intelligent, and still be just as effective and eloquent as before. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm about to go into a meeting right quick. Can't get my shoes off, but I'm glad I got that off my chest. I really, I honest to God didn't want to go through that whole spiel, but I feel like I needed to say it. I needed to say a lot of that stuff. Like I said, it's just my little old opinion. It doesn't mean the world, and I value so many others' opinions even if I don't, even if it's not something that I necessarily would think to say, or it's necessarily my opinion, doesn't mean I don't value it. And the good thing about it is, what I think we all should understand is, sometimes when you actually look, like when people make comments, actually read their comments, even if you don't agree with it. Read their comments, reflect on it, compare it to your narrative, and see if if you can see their point of view. See if you can see their point of view, and I think that'll help us not bigger so much, or if you do reply to it, try to reply and just be like, try to open their eyes to what they're actually saying, because sometimes people don't even realize what they're saying. Some people don't even know what they're saying out their own damn mouth. They just saying stuff. Sometimes people just repeat what they hear other people saying. And I see that a lot on Facebook too. People repeat. People go with what's most popular. If everybody's saying Jazell should have had on a red shirt, then she should have had on a red shirt. Shoulda. That's just the world we live in. Thank you. I thank you. I know I don't go live a lot. I should go live more often, but sometimes I just try to I try not to take it and just be quiet sometimes, or I'll make my little post or anything, like stuff like that. And I have so much going on, and my focus is other places. Like believe it or not, like I'm over the transformation program at Bliss, and I love what I do here as far as helping the trans community with educating them and getting their names changed and everything like that. But that, when I came into this, I didn't come in it for trans related issues. I came in this to help everybody, and that's what I do. I'm very I know I'm switching gears at the moment, but I'm very geared towards helping my community be healthy, be safe. I've never been one of those ones that's, trans, because I don't like to hear trans all the time, because I don't wake up every day and say, oh, I'm trans. I don't wake up out of bed and say, oh, good morning, I'm trans. I don't feel like that. I just feel regular. Oh, my pants. Yeah, these my pants. Yeah, I don't feel like that when I wake up in the morning. So when people always say trans issues, trans rights, I support it. I support it. Just like I know some individuals that are in the same industry as me. They don't always like to talk about HIV because they feel like it's a bigger need than just HIV. And I can agree. I can agree with them that there's more out there. There's more needs out there. So that's why we have people to cover all ends. You have some people that are very passionate about trans issues, and you have some people that are very passionate about healthcare or HIV, STDs. They're very passionate about that. For whatever reason, it all works together, and everybody should, do what they're passionate about. Oh, really? I don't see why either. I'm just normal as I can be with a label or label. Yeah, like I said, I don't wake up every day, with the thought of trans in my head. It's not, I don't think about it. Even when I'm at the club, when I'm working, I don't think in my head that I'm trans. Like, that's not in my head. You know the times when I think that I think about that I'm trans? When I go to church, when I go to a barbershop or a hair salon, or to the courthouse, or my hands ashy. Where's my lotion? I need some lotion. Those are the times that it comes. Are you passionate about your corn? Those are the times that comes to my head. You know, that comes to being trans, because it's just like, you don't want to have a bad experience. You know, I don't want to go in this barbershop and somebody might recognize me or know me, or and want to sit my teeth. Some gay man might be in the barbershop getting his hair cut and feel the need to tell somebody that I'm trans. That's when I think about being trans, because you sometimes fear for your life, or not even fear for your life, just you fear for your safety. And so that's it. I gotta go. And I love you all. I hope this was educational. It was a way for me to vent, to just kind of get some of that off of me. And I hope that everything is taken just the way that it was supposed to be taken. Good or bad, you know, I hope that it's taken just how it's supposed to be taken. I hope that it gets to whomever it needs to get to. I hope it educates whoever it needs to get to. I hope it makes whoever it needs to make happy, it makes happy. I hope it pisses off whoever it needs to piss off. I hope it does all of that. And we're going to do this again. Jasmine Masters, she wants to have a discussion. So we're going to go live, and I'm going to invite Jasmine Tasaki. I'm going to invite a lot of different people on to just discuss just everything, because like I said, being that I'm constantly surrounded in the LGBT plus community, yes, it bothers me. It bothers me to be in be surrounded by a community that, from their words, like they hate me or hate us, or I'm nothing to them. You know, I experienced that being a trans person, and I experienced that being an entertainer too. Because when you're an entertainer, people don't take us serious, or they don't take what we do serious. Not at all. They don't think what we do is anything serious. But we'll touch on that later, because I want to invite some trans entertainers. I want to invite some drag queen entertainers. And when I say drag queens, people that live as male in the daytime, but they part of their careers is female impersonation. I want to invite all of them on to talk. And so we'll do that in a few days. So love you all. Bye.